On May 15th, 2016, I first stepped on the campus of Sweetbriar College. From my initial phone interview to being dropped off at the airport, I felt like Sweetbriar was the place I was meant to be. Throughout my entire process, the coaches, stakeholders, and staff I was interviewing with didn't make me feel like I was just another clinician being looked at for the position, but they made me feel as if I was an individual who needed to be at Sweetbriar, that something about me would make Sweetbriar better. I remember sitting in my interview on campus and asking them not to send me back to Georgia because I had felt like I had already found the place I was supposed to be. On May 15th or May 25th, I was driving to the Atlanta airport to go to another interview. And then I got the call offering me the position as director of athletic training at Sweetbriar. For the next couple of days, all I could think about in my spare time was what the next steps should be. One of the questions I asked was I too inexperienced? At the time, I'd only been certified for about a year, and most of my experiences had been as an intern or a fellow. I was worried was jumping into a head position something that might be a little too much for me to handle. Was it too much change? At the time, I was working with the United States Infantry. Was going to a women's college after being at the infantry going to be too hard of a transition to make? Was it too much pressure? Accepting a head athletic trainer position at a college is not an easy task. So I was nervous. Was I going to be able to hold up to the standards and expectations that I not only have for myself, but that I knew the Indiana State DAT was training me to do? And also, what if I failed? There's always the possibility I could take on this huge risk and fall flat on my face. I could move everything from Georgia to Virginia and have to start all over again. But one image just wouldn't leave my head. On March 3rd, 2015, the board of directors made the announcement that they were going to close Sweetbriar effective on June 30th of that year. I knew about this because I had followed the entire story while I interned in Florida. I was completely devastated for these young women, but due to the strength and resiliency of the students, faculty, staff, and alumni, they fought to keep Sweetbriar open. This was a risk, though. It was a school in its first year back from an attempted failure, and there was no guarantee that the 2017 academic year would happen. So as I sat in the airport on the 26th of May on my way back in Chicago, I made the call that would change everything. Coming to Sweetbriar has exposed me to experiences and traditions I wouldn't have thought possible. I've watched young women grow from timid girls to empowered young women. I've seen them be introduced to a different level of athletic training, see people believe in them, and people be inspired by them. And also on top of that, attempt to create some kind of work-life balance. On May 15th of this year, Sweetbriar will welcome its 13th president to the college, a new chapter that nobody thought 2 years ago would be even possible. Being a part of Sweetbriar and being a part of its 116-year traditions is a true honor, and I'm excited to be a part of that. Sweetbriar took a risk on me as a young clinician, and taking a risk on it was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made.